Some of these payouts are just stunning, like the money that the former wife of the former mayor of Moscow sent to Hunter Biden. I don't know what that was about, but let's go through the report and please go through the key findings. What struck you most in terms of the money that Hunter Biden accepted from these foreign countries, foreign companies, while his father was vice president, rather?
Sure. Again, we never sought to target or go after the Bidens. They put themselves in the middle of this with Hunter's glaring and obvious conflict of interest joining the board of Burisma. So this happened just a couple months after Ukraine had their revolution of dignity, which is really all about ridding Ukraine of corruption. And here we set up this glaring conflict of interest where Hunter Biden was paid $4.2 million. He and his business partner and his businesses, $4.2 million over about 30 months. That calculates about $140,000 a month, almost $1.7 million per year. It's a pretty good gig if you've got the right last name. And let's face it, this was all about Volochevsky, the owner of Burisma, trying to gain influence so that the charges, the investigations against him in Ukraine would be dropped. One thing that's kind of notable is in George Kent's interview before our committee, he pointed out that a $7 million bribe was paid by Volochevsky, by Burisma, to make those investigations go away 7 months after Hunter Biden and Devin Archer joined the board of Burisma. And remember, Hunter Biden joined the board supposedly to consult on corporate governance and transparency. Didn't do a particularly good job. But then you hop to Russia, $3.5 million paid to Elena Baturina, the former wife of the now deceased former mayor of Moscow. She's Russia's lone woman billionaire, or a woman billionaire in Russia. Got her billions through probably corrupt practices, being the mayor's wife. We have a very strange payment from Kazakhstan, $142,000 to buy a car for Devin Archer, and then the millions of cash flow between the intricate web of corporate dealings with the Chinese nationals that have current connections to the communist government and former affiliations with the People's Liberation Army, helping arrange, for example, the purchase by and the control by Chinese business of a U.S. dual parts auto manufacturer. The type of equipment could be used for military purposes by the PLA. Again, it's such an extensive web. There's so many millions of dollars flowing back and forth with those associations. We've just only uncovered. I think we're only scratching the surface. We have no guarantee that we've uncovered it all. We just have really laid out a pretty troubling web that represents potential conflict of interest, counterintelligence, and extortion risks to a Biden administration.
Unbelievable. So you're talking about $4.2 million coming from Burisma. You're talking about $3.5 million coming from the wife of the former wife of the former mayor of Moscow. You're talking about tens of millions of dollars coming from China.